I'm Sergey Vashchenko, and this is section 2 of Magento 2 testing and optimization video course. And this section is about optimization. During this section, we'll learn about profiling, asynchronous operations, full page and block cache, and Magento tuning on configuration level. The first video of the section is dedicated to Magento 2 profiling. In this video, I'll show you how to use code profiling and two types of database queries profiling. Let's go to application. To enable Magento 2 code profiling, you have to specify environment variable. That can be done, for example, in .htaccess file under pub directory. You have to add one line saying setenv mage underscore profiler and the type of output you'd like to use. I'll start with CSV file. Now let's go to frontend and open some category. We can go back and check profiler output under var log directory. And the file is profiler.csv. Now let's change output type to HTML and go back to frontend. Refresh a page and you can see profiler data right at the bottom of the page. The operations are listed on the left side and performance data on the right. Actually, you can create your own timer to measure operations you'd like. Let's go back to the project and create additional timer. For example, I'd like to measure how much time Bootstrap creation takes. This purpose I'll have to call Magento framework profiler start static function and pass timer name. Let's call it Bootstrap. After the end of operation you'd like to measure, you have to stop the timer with the same name. Now let's go back to frontend and refresh page once again. You can see the timer is there. Back to the project, and now let's enable database queries profiler. For this purpose we'll go to app etc env.php file and we'll add a node to database connection settings. We'll add a key called profiler. That's value is an array with two keys. First key is class, that's Magento framework DB profiler, and second enabled, true. Additionally, we have to organize the output of this DB profiler. Let's output it directly in index.php. I used a sample code from Magento, and in this case I'm just calling getting the instance of resource connection, getting the profiler from the connection, and outputting data from the profiler. Let's go back to the page and refresh it. Now we have two profilers data. The first one is SQL profiler with SQL queries, and second one is code profiler. Now let's enable additional profiler for SQL queries. For this purpose, I would like to go to app etc di.xml file, and here I would search for quiet. And this is the preference for Magento Framework DB Logger interface. By default, it's Magento Framework DB Logger quiet that doesn't log anything. However, we can change it to file, or we can override this preference from our module, for example. But just for development purposes, I'm changing it directly in di.xml etc directory. Additionally, we have to go to the file, to the class, and here we can specify additional settings, such as the file queries. If a profiler should log all queries, by default it will log only slow queries with time more than specified here, and if it should log call stack. So you can definitely pass those parameters using DI XML as well. However, I will just quickly show you by changing the log of all queries to true. Now its default value, however, it's not specified anywhere in DI in Magento, so it will enable it. Now I will go back to frontend and open some product, for example. Let's go back and I will look for debug directory and dblog inside. So let's go to var directory. You can see debug folder here and dblog with SQL queries. So that's it. Now you know about 3 approaches of profiling in Magento 2.